ongoing coding of those tweets, that data set, and then also following up with those social media users in some purposive sampling of like the most popular retweeted like tweets, etc., and being able to be in contact with those social media users to actually follow up, sometimes 5 years later, sometimes 1 year later, over a couple of months, and being able to find out, what was the context for this tweet? Where do
Right.
they, where, what do they use these hashtags for? Like, what is their purpose? What is their goal? And what we've been hearing is, people are trying to connect. People are trying to assert their identities in spaces where, they might not even feel comfortable to online
Mm-hmm.
or in
Okay.
person.
So I feel like I've seen a lot of that, more people speaking up and more people doing a lot of the hashtags and using their social media platform in different ways on the internet to show their support of certain movements, such as the Black Lives Matter movement and everything. And I feel like that's somewhat how that's how I get a lot of my like information on things that happen both good and bad, right? And then so that's where I started. I want to say sometime last year, like actually getting a lot of involvement with the protests. And then so I moved from online to actually going to a protest and seeing and just feeling that energy of people with the same type of mission and goal. And it was just like so powerful. And it's powerful in a sense of all of us coming together and unifying in that way, but it's also like heartbreaking that the reasons why we have to do this, like the reasons why we have to protest is so that we can try to live an equal life with as others, right? Be treated the same way, or be treated as human beings, because some people feel like they're not even treated as human beings. And so that's I would actually, I don't know if my passions would like overflow into my research to where it's like more emotionally based if I were like doing some type of research like that. Like, so that just sounds really cool. I never really thought of it in a way of it actually being a, something to get your have a PhD topic on it, like, right?
Right.
So,
Definitely.
yeah.
It's really cool in that way because people can share, their stories,
Mm,
and people can also see, you can see the patterns. Because we found that, like with my previous research, I've seen that the Black Lives Matter movement has actually been able to act as a mechanism for change for people.
mm-hmm.
So people's understanding, specifically looking at like Afro Caribbean people, and especially like Black immigrants and their children, um, people are thinking about the of racism in America differently because of Black Lives
Mm-hmm.
Matter. And
Yeah.
so in order to like understand how we, get a more diverse population of Black people involved in the movement, we like really need to understand who these people are,
Mm-hmm.
and what their interests are as well. And so it's just been really important to kind of like see that like what people are thinking this movement is about.
Right.
Doesn't even like, crack the surface sometimes of what all that it was meant to encompass as well.
Yeah. So on that same topic, it's coming. I'm ready. I'm
Okay.
ready to hear something.
You ready to hear
Spoken
something?
word. Yes. Yes.
Okay. I will start with a poem that is very related to my research, as well as my spoken word, and kind of ties all of these together. Definitely, of course, centers Black women. And it's called "Say Her Name."
Mm.
When I heard "Say Her Name," I immediately wanted to write. I'm a spoken word artist. This is what I do. I'm a researcher who studies Black Lives Matter. This is what I do. I know when we say Black Lives Matter, people hear police brutality against Black men and not state sanctioned violence against Black people. I know Black women are doing the work, that they are founding the movement, that they are writing love letters that change the world, and that it is so common, even among Black women, to think that this movement that they're doing the work for, that was founded by them, isn't about them, just men. This, this is what I do. But somehow I did not know what to write. See, the men are missing and the women write them poems, but who writes the poems for the women? I did not know how to write this poem. There was no template, no draft. Did I write Black women a thank you note? A love letter? Did I write a call to action on their behalf? Did I write about the grief that hit when I was stopped by the police and my parents weren't even mad I was speeding, just grateful I didn't end up a hashtag? So I looked through all my Black Lives Matter poems and found only bits and pieces here and there, mere whispers of women. I did not know what to do. I did not know what to write. I did not know what to say. So I said her name, Sandra Bland. I probably should have said something when they said she committed suicide in jail, thinking they could toss Sandy out in the same trash bag they hung her from. When we both should have been 26, but instead of seeing her value, they called her collateral damage, Breonna Taylor. When they were still killing our babies in their sleep and walking away scot-free in 2015, Ayanna Stanley Jones. When they turned our mental illness into a death sentence, Tanisha Anderson. When they came into our homes to serve traffic stop warrants, but left with our sister's life, Corinne Gaines. When they decided that we were living too loud for them, so they stopped you from breathing, Rekia Boyd. When we called them for help, but they arrived ready to play a lethal game of rock, paper, scissors, shoot, Charlene Lyle and unborn baby Lyle. What is a name really? But a way to call someone into a space. Alive or dead, they are with us. If you've ever been to Positive Black Girl Instagram, there's a high chance you've had someone encourage you to speak it into existence. So let's speak them into existence. In this world where there's so little room for us, we must take up as much space as we can. Hold Black women a seat at the table, not with your coat or purse. Put their name in it. To say they are here, to say that they matter. See, I'm sure we've said Black Lives Matter a million times, but do you know who first wrote that love letter to Black people? Did you write her love letter back? Did you address it to Alicia Garza? When our organizers were having their homes surrounded by police calling her a terrorist, did you remember to call her by her name, Patrisse Cullors? When my sister was working to ensure that all our people of the African diaspora knew that their lives matter too, did you remember to say her name, Opal Tometi? Please, do not wait just until their lives have been stolen. Hold them even now, before their names are all that we have left to hold. Thank you.
Oh my gosh.